I'm here at YCS Pittsburgh with my best pal, Jay.
Yes, here I am.
Wait, I thought I'm Jaden.
Oh, two Jadens, oh no! Don't worry, there's plenty of Jesse to go around. After attending YCS Providence together, I kind of jokingly suggested a road trip to Pittsburgh, except Joe said, yeah, it sounds like a great idea.
It's morning, we're driving, I'm tired. Hanging behind us is his Dignity, which is the cosplay that he will be wearing at the event.
Yes, I got Jesse's hair color wrong again. I didn't have time to think anything through while testing for the new Genesis format. This vlog is gonna cover a lot of ground. What's up, everyone? It's time for an unboxing video. Konami didn't send me this, so this is non-sponsored. Konami doesn't sponsor me for some reason. I have Destroyer Golem, which is a golem with a massive right hand. YCS participation dice reveal. What'd you get?
I got honest. Do you want to trade honesties? Do you want to become I want to become the king of pumpkins.
All right, you can
I got
be the,
Steamroid.
You can be the king of pumpkins if I can be honest.
You can be honest.
Awesome.
That's out of characters off screen. There he is.
He has plenty of character for the camera.
That's true.
Yep.
He's just not showing it.
I booked accommodations with another YugiTuber who you may have heard of, out of characters. There were many practice duels I forgot to record, and one duel you'll see on this channel pretty soon.
Zero gravity.
Mega Thunderball rose upward towards the camera.
Mark, for the rest of this duel, you cannot be injured by wooden weapons while standing in fire. Blazing and Pachi.
We got Sean from other vlogs.
I totally exist, guys.
And then someone got pizza, but not for me. I had to go run back to the car, and he was like, oh yeah, I'll get your order for you, Mark. I was told there was a famous furry place. So this goes out to all the furries in my audience. There are a lot of you. I don't know what I did to deserve that. The only thing I understand here is Incineroar. Actually, that's not the official Sugimori art of Incineroar, is it? Now let's get up to speed with Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. There's furry pizza, but not today. Not today, furries. We have to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
For us today, please.
I'm here at YCS Pittsburgh with multi-time YCS participant Mark.
This was my worst showing ever. I was prepared for K9 and Draco Tail, therefore every match this weekend except one was against Yummy plus Mitsurugi, a deck that is unstoppable unless you're skilled enough to open with Drolls and Charmies that don't get countered. There were maybe 4 duels this entire weekend in which my opponent did not open Droll, even in Genesis. Especially against this person every game. And every time Droll happens, it's a non-game. Droll was not designed for modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It really says something that 3 years of unprecedented power creep were all blown out of relevance by this one set. If you spent the money to play a Justice Hunters deck at this moment in time, you're probably having a skillful back and forth. For the rest of us, this is one of the most miserable states I have ever seen competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! In. I have never hated playing this game like I did this weekend. Opponents were all pleasant, just not the game revolving around Droll. I've gotten eliminated early from the main event, which means I actually win, because now I get to play Genesis with my best pal, Jay. The other source of friction this weekend was, as usual, the administration of the side events, except somehow even worse this time. Konami contracts the side deck to run these events, using a clunky registration website that is mechanically identical, yet actually separate from the site that Konami uses for main event registration, so we have to export our deck lists from one and import them to another. For those who don't know, side events are called by a crappy loudspeaker that you can only kind of hear in one area of the event hall. If you miss your announcement, you're screwed. Every time I hear players saying that they should set up a monitor that shows event status, but still, we've got nothing. So imagine my joy when I was shown that the site now displays exactly when our events start, except actually this information can be 10 minutes late. I was in a disastrous Genesis bracket in which a bunch of us were given game losses for showing up late because of this, even though we did exactly as we were told, exactly when the site said the event started, and the late arrival was not our fault. And that new time rule with the double losses, they're using that even in single elimination, meaning neither player advances in the bracket, and the next matchup has no opponent anymore. The Genesis brackets were supposed to advance the top 2 players to a bigger tournament on day 2, but some flights didn't have 2 finalists to send because the final bracket was empty. Would you ever have imagined the final matchup of a tournament to be a bye? As bad as side event management has been for Yu-Gi-Oh!, they've now found ways to make it even worse. I know the employees on the ground don't have all the resources they need, and many of them are trying. Konami's organized play managers needed to be thrown out a long time ago. I've said this before, and I'm appalled to see how much worse it just got. Suffice to say, I hated practically every minute I spent playing Yu-Gi-Oh! This weekend. It was a blessing that I could tag out and let Jesse take over. Just be possessed by someone who can watch yet another Mitsuyumi deck go plus 15 off of one card, no normal summon, no locks, and be impressed rather than mortified. Wow, we can hear that outside. Time in the round, everyone. Drop your cowboys. One upside was that none of my matches went to time, personally, and day one's main event ended an hour or two sooner than usual, no delays. We were also allowed to revise our deck list before the registration cutoff. Administration of the main event has improved. I wish I could be happier about that. What I did enjoy was that YCS Pittsburgh had a few more cosplay duelists than usual. Naturally, Jaden and Jesse found each other and became friends. I even got to try a real-life duel disc for the very first time. Man, that thing was heavy. I'm here with Reggie Akaba, the CEO of... What is it?
The Akaba Corporation.
We didn't have that in Domino City. They haven't expanded there yet.
The Fusion Dimension does have the Duel Academy, though. You might want to work on that.
I don't think I got to be in that Duel Academy, that particular one. They didn't call me back.
This is actually my first cosplay and my first YCS. 1-1 right now, doing my best.
One step closer to entering the Genesis events.
I don't think my deck's allowed. Last I checked, they don't like these very much. I'm willing to take part in any other event that'll let me place my pendulum scales.
So you're playing your triple Ds in the event?
Triple Ds, baby.
Can we see your dual disc? Because this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Actual working dual disc life point tracker.
Incredible what these cosplayers are coming up with.
I'll even hold a card or two. Not enough yet. We're working on version 3.0 to hold a full deck. I'll also be in the regionals in Philly coming up in December. I will be working a little bit more on this cosplay, so I hope to see any of you there.
I also loved meeting a bunch of you guys, chatting about crystal beasts or speed duels. Some just loved my outfit, others recognized me from YouTube and didn't even know who Jesse Anderson is. Some of you seemed starstruck, but believe me, I'm the one who's starstruck. It was so energizing to meet audience members who think that my videos are worth watching, that my mere presence can make people smile is an exhilarating superpower and makes me want to work so much harder at these videos and cosplaying. The people who came up to me and said, "Hey, you're the guy who made that Time Rules video." Oh boy, we had no idea. Suffice to say, I hated practically every minute I spent playing Yu-Gi-Oh! This weekend. I guess I'm lucky to have gotten more into the community aspects of Yu-Gi-Oh! Just as the actual card game has become rather excruciating to participate in at the moment. My channel here and my journey have been all about finding ways to enjoy the greatest game ever made without getting too obsessed with the toxic, hyper-competitive side that was all I knew for so long. I have a different perspective now than when I did back at the North American Championship, for those who have watched the vlogs that started all of my YugiTube stuff. I've gotten better at distancing myself from those who don't enjoy the game, and better at finding friends. I saw someone opening 3 Crystal Beast structure decks with his 60-year-old mom. Of course I spotted them from a mile away, stopped by and said, "Hey, I'm dressed as the character who plays those cards in the show." She found me later, got some pictures, and we had a great conversation. She loves the vibe here. You really do have as much fun at these events as you're willing to bring. I saw her eyes welling up as I thanked her for giving a chance to this hobby which her son loves so much. Something a lonely Mark was never able to convince his parents to try. I'd been posing with some cards when a couple asked if I'd take a picture of them, and what do you know, she took out 3 cards to pose with, which were the exact same 3 that I was holding. And when I finally asked Jaden their proper name, Mar. I was losing it, man. I had been having the most miserable tournament run, but by the end of that second day, I was over the moon bonding over this game with such great company. I had been saying from the start that the point of a good game should be to bring people together. I sure got that in Pittsburgh, and I didn't have to summon a single monster card to do it. And I still chat with that friend from the national championship way back, and we still have never actually dueled each other. And maybe someday, because I do still love dueling. It's just weird that as much as I love love dueling, I can still get so much out of this game without dueling. Of the engines I discussed in my big Crystal Beast update, I went with Odeon and Yubel for countering Droll. I never saw Yubel, and Odeon has a weakness against Yummy, which is practically untouchable by any on-field negation, and which every opponent was using. I also got some terrible hands, terrible luck, bad duels all around. Mark's main purpose as a normal summon is to draw negation away from my combos, but cards like Impermanence are at an all-time low, and somehow I was never hit by Charmies, just Droll every time. I'm running just one Mark now because I was drawing too many monsters, but considering how I'd side out the entire engine against Yummy, maybe it's just plain bad for this environment. I also hadn't gotten much practice with Syl Hat Rabbit, so there were a couple of duels in which I forgot about it, but I don't think my misplays were significant enough to have made much of a difference. If I could try again, I think I'd cut it all for Charmies, maybe a K9 engine. I was looking at my cards, the same Crystal Beasts I've been summoning for 18 years, wondering what went wrong this time. It's not like I don't believe in them enough, and we were 7-1 at locals, so how could I have gotten such extraordinarily bad luck today? Like, yeah, I picked the wrong deck, but also the luck, just the feeling of getting hit by Droll over and over and over again. Genesys went even worse. In the frenzy to prepare for this event while still putting up a video that flopped miserably, even though vanilla duels were once a breakout hit, I forgot the Crystal Beast deck I was more excited for. Just had Sapphire Surprise minus Tri-Brigade, which does not play through as much disruption, especially when I draw hands full of monsters over and over again and get drolled every time. This entire game is just Droll. Every match, every duel, both formats, it's all Droll. And that horrendous luck hitting so consistently that I want to throw my deck across the room and not as a joke in a guide video. The heart of the cards is telling me it is time to stop playing this game. This would have been my last event, except, of course, the way it always goes, next up is the 300th championship, which, from what I've been hearing, will be Yu-Gi-Oh's biggest celebration ever. I really feel like I shouldn't have done this Pittsburgh trip. There just wasn't much of a reason for it. I guess I just wanted to see some friends. But now I can say I've done a road trip. The worst thing about this Justice Hunter's power creep is that it isn't necessary. We say, oh, there goes Konami, always greedy, but there are so many of us who want to give Konami our money, yet we can't. Those awesome YCS participation coins and the dice, you can't buy them. You can only get them by checking into a YCS in person the Friday before. Konami doesn't make any money off of that. The hotels make money off of that. The parking garages make money, and you miss an extra day of work. We want dual discs, but the only one Konami's offered in 20 years was this carelessly designed anniversary model that you can barely put any cards into. I've been sitting on a review of this official Millennium Puzzle, but it hasn't gotten a proper global release. I want to hear from you in the comments. How much of this Yu-Gi-Oh merch would you love to own if you could actually find it at a reasonable price? These recent jewelry and sneakerhead collabs are something, but very niche. It is insane to see Konami prioritizing those markets over the much larger demographic of normal Yu-Gi-Oh fans with closer to median incomes. This site offers a line of awesome Yu-Gi-Oh clothes which are officially licensed, but I only just found out about it by asking someone about his Dark Magician cardigan. Konami, advertise this stuff so we can buy it, please! I would love to see them focus more on merchandise to take pressure off of burning through the card game's lifespan by printing a new game-changing expansion set nearly every month, not just because this strategy has been backfiring for a few years now. Stores can't get those off the shelves anymore because nobody is paying $5 for packs that contain 50 cents of cards. The entire set will be worthless come September because of the Mega Pack reprints. Not to say there haven't been some bangers. Rarity Collection flew off the shelves, but instead of simply printing more of it, Konami discontinued this successful product and invested in developing a different one, which was not as popular. The players don't want more packs, we want better packs. This focus on blasting through set releases and almost never reprinting the breakout hits is literally Konami paying to make less money. The quality of package decks has taken leaps just recently. That is promising, and that is awesome. More of these and more merch, please. There is so much more to Yu-Gi-Oh than the card tournaments, or the cosplay, or blinging out your deck with cool gear that starts conversations and relaxes the atmosphere. You can meet people, talk about the travel, swap stories. You can just open some packs with a partner who will turn over every common like it has a chance to be something good, unjaded by the competitive grind and knowing that even if it is good, it's for a deck that you haven't built and will never build because the cards for it are spread across 10 different sets anyway. They can just appreciate the silly names and pictures. I feel conflicted about the events of this weekend, including the road trip off camera. I can only leave you with this conclusion. You get from Yu-Gi-Oh! What you put into it. So have fun and be weird. Leave your record at the venue, just take the pictures home.
What's up? I'm Greg. I'm straight. You can tell by my deep masculine voice. He is over there trying to, I guess, mimic my voice, but then there are some times when I just talk like this, but I only talk like this for videos. In real life, I'm actually just Greg.